There are 4 different kinds of VHS tapes in this world. Retail tapes. You buy them in a store, you take them home, you watch them, you're happy. Rental tapes. You go to a different store, pay a flat fee to borrow it for a few days, you take the tape home, you learn you have a faulty video cassette, your mother gets pissed off, you take it back the next day for a refund. Or you enjoy the release, take it back and happily rent something else. Recordable tapes. The blank kind you buy in bulk and maybe you occasionally use one to save stuff from TV and then forget about it in 2 weeks and proceed to reuse the same tape despite the fact you have an entire box full of them. And then there's the promotional stuff. These things you wouldn't find in stores and would have to either special order them, most often by calling a phone number or visiting a dedicated store, or you'd receive it as a special giveaway. These tapes never pushed for long-term entertainment. It's in the name. They're out to promote a business or a product, and as long as you had a video cassette recorder, VHS was a perfect way to convey their message, whether it be a holiday planner or... That will never get old. Now, I turned 30 this year, and you know what else is 30 years old?
Come join the fun at Cartoon Network, where cartoons live.
They grow up so fast. Yep, 1993 was the year of birth for me and the British version of Cartoon Network. There's only a few months between us. It's like it was meant to be. Or it's a completely irrelevant coincidence. It's definitely one of them. For the past 25 years, Cartoon Network has meant the world to me, for many reasons I have discussed before. There are many things in my collection I wouldn't own if I never watched that channel as a kid. VHS, DVD, magazines, giant tribute to Tom and Jerry. It never ends for me. So, as a birthday celebration, I think it's time to look at what I consider to be the holy grail of my VHS collection. Maybe next time. For now, it's time to look at a taste of Cartoon Network. As you'd expect, this is a VHS tape released to promote the then brand new American TV channel. The date on the slipcase has 1993 on it, so chances are the network was only a few months old. I don't know how one would have obtained this tape back in the day, but I suspect in the style of good old television advertising, there would have been commercials for this brand new channel, claiming to be the world's first and only 24-hour channel dedicated to animated programming, with a phone number to call if you were interested in a simple videotape. If your kids were after cartoon entertainment, they would normally have to rely on channels such as ABC and CBS, and of course Disney Channel, but those weren't dedicated to animation. If anything, cartoons were a small fraction of a much bigger catalogue of programming, so a channel claiming to air only animation would have been a big deal for the kids. I mean, hey, that's what happened in the UK. Before Cartoon Network, I had 2 VHS tapes dedicated to cartoons, not counting movies, and I would have had to rely on BBC Two for Tasmania and Tom and Jerry Kids, or I'd have to be there for Dig It for some Disney shows every weekend morning on ITV. So, let's take a look at what kids would have seen back in 1993.
The tape you're watching is just a taste of the Cartoon Network. An appetizer, a mere morsel of what you can expect from the first and only 24-hour Cartoon Network.
Holy shit. Hold on a minute. That's it. 10 seconds in and they say it all. It's a sneak preview of what you could expect if you subscribe to this brand new TV channel. It's a taste of Cartoon Network, just like it says on the case. It's perfect. There's nothing more to say, right? Let's have another look. Well, like it said, this 1 hour long VHS tape gives you a decent sample of the brand new Cartoon Network. In this case, short promotional tidbits, whether they be informational segments or simple cartoon previews, interspersed with shows you would have seen on Cartoon Network in the first few years. In this case, Huckleberry Hound, Tom and Jerry, Droopy, Space Ghost, The Jetsons, and Looney Tunes. Oh, excuse me, Merry Melodies. In my eyes, this is exactly what a promotional VHS tape should be. It's entertaining, substantial, and informative. Not only does it promote their revolutionary product really well, if kids are watching, they get some cartoons they may never have seen before. Basically, it's everything this thing isn't. It's not a perfect release. I never watched Huckleberry Hound or Space Ghost when I was a kid, and while the promotional content is by far the most interesting parts of the VHS tape,
Here's one more reason you should have the Cartoon Network.
it all amounts to 5 minutes worth, while the remaining 55 minutes are dedicated to actual cartoons, a third of that time going to the Jetsons. Not that that's a bad thing, it all depends on how much you like the episodes included. It's also very much a product of its time, as is evident in not only the selection of cartoons, but also the reference to cartoons being available on Laserdisc. You know it's vintage when they acknowledge that old format. All in all, this is an excellent piece of television history that I'm proud to own. That being said, if you come across this on eBay, I do not recommend that you buy this. Being a limited promotional release from 30 years ago, this thing cost me a fortune. By far the most expensive VHS tape I have ever bought and will ever buy. You think those later Simpsons DVDs were pricey? Oh no. They were practically bargains compared to this. If this thing were available on Laserdisc, it'd be even more expensive. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to say it one last time. Your VHS tapes are not that valuable unless they're promotional releases or something out of print. And even then, don't pay anything more than $100. If you see a rare VHS tape going for £127 with a torn cover, run away from it. And if you see an out of print tape for $1 million, run even further. And let's not go into those Black Diamond Disney tapes. Just because you see something listed for a high amount, that doesn't mean it's worth that. If anything, it's probably worth a lot less. All that being said, I give A Taste of Cartoon Network 4 out of 5. The promotional clips are the highlight. They are great. And while I'm not big on all the cartoons included, they fit the bill perfectly fine. Personally, I'd rather watch the Disney Holiday Planners, but if I'm being objective, A Taste of Cartoon Network is the best promotional VHS tape I have ever seen.